San Diego Global Knowledge University.
Introduction. Welcome to this session. We're going to take a good look at how the world of work is changing in the 21st century. In this part, we'll talk about the big changes happening because of things like globalization, new technology, and how the economy is shifting. We'll also see how these changes affect how work is set up, what skills people need, and how people work together. We'll explore important topics like how jobs have changed, why flexible work is growing, how knowledge and technology play a role, why learning new things all the time is so important, and how companies are trying to make work better and more productive. We'll also look at the push and pull between global and local ways of doing things, the social challenges that come with these changes, and what different groups, like businesses, governments, and workers, are doing to create new ways of working. By the end, you'll see that today's work world isn't just about adapting. It's about having a smart plan that brings many different parts together. Let's get started. The world of work in the 21st century is going through a huge change. This is because of things like globalization, new technology, and shifts in how economies and societies work. This new world has a lot of competition, customer tastes are always changing, and different cultures are becoming more important. Plus, everyone has access to the internet and information technology, but there are still big differences in wealth between regions and even within communities. Because of all this, companies have had to rethink how they do things to stay competitive. One big change is creating more flexible work arrangements, like more part-time jobs. They also need people to have more skills that work all over the world. Companies are also spending more on continuous learning using technology. This helps their employees be flexible and able to do many different jobs within the company. One of the biggest changes is how we see education. The old way of learning in schools and universities isn't enough anymore to get you ready for a career. Instead of being the whole process, it's just the beginning. Today's jobs need you to keep learning new things and skills all the time. Companies help with this, and so do groups of professionals who learn from each other. This new work environment means individuals have to take charge of their own growth. Learning new skills isn't a one-time thing anymore. It's a never-ending process that has to change as the job market changes. Technical skills are still important, but you also need to be able to learn on your own, adapt to new things, and understand what's happening around the world. From a business point of view, there's a big challenge to get and keep really good employees. Companies don't just have to offer good pay, they also need to create workplaces that help people grow, stay interested, and come up with new ideas. This challenge gets even bigger when companies are changing things, trying to save money, and always reinventing themselves. At the same time, what people expect from work has changed a lot. Unlike what people thought in the last century, that technology would mean less work time, the truth is that work has become more intense. Even though there are many tech tools to make tasks easier, they haven't really made the workload smaller. Instead, in many cases, they've made work faster, and there's more of it, putting more pressure on people. This difference between what was expected in the past and what's happening now shows how complicated today's work world is. Technology has changed how we work, but it hasn't gotten rid of the need for human effort or given us more free time. Instead, it has created new demands and changed the rules for how work gets done. In this situation, both organizations and individuals need to come up with plans that help them adjust to these new ways of doing things. This means understanding what's happening around the world, guessing what changes might come, and building skills that make it easier to move to work styles that are more active and challenging. So, to sum it up, the world of work in the 21st century is always changing, complicated, and growing. Being able to adjust, always learning new things, and developing skills that work everywhere are super important for dealing with the tough parts and grabbing the chances that pop up in this new work environment. Today's world of work is going through a big change. This has brought some worry, but also new chances. This change isn't just because technology is moving so fast. It's also because many things are happening at the same time, changing how we work, when we work, where we work, and who is working. One of the main things about this change is that many people feel things are not stable. Many feel that changes in money and technology have directly affected their jobs. This makes them feel like outside forces have pushed them aside. This isn't just happening in one place. It's a worldwide trend where some areas are doing well, while others are finding it hard to keep up. The quick pace of new technology has put more pressure on workers. New digital tools, instead of making work completely easier, have made people expect you to be available and respond all the time. Being connected all the time has blurred the lines between work time and personal time. This creates new demands that affect how good our lives are. Also, the very competitive world has made job markets more unstable. Companies are always under pressure to save money, create new things, and change. This leads to big changes in jobs. One of the clearest changes is that full-time jobs are becoming less common. Instead, more flexible jobs are appearing, like temporary, contract, or part-time work. This shift in how we work is due to many things. From a tech point of view, machines doing tasks has meant we need fewer people for some jobs. But this doesn't mean there's less work overall. It just means fewer jobs fit into the old-school, full-time way of working. From a company's side, businesses want to lower risks and costs that come with hiring people permanently, so they're looking for more flexible ways to work. Workers, too, have started to question the usual way of working. Even though full-time jobs offered stability, many people found them unsatisfying and felt they couldn't grow personally. As people's lives and responsibilities have changed, they're looking for more flexible work options. This has helped new kinds of jobs grow. Another big change is what work actually involves. In rich countries, most jobs aren't about making things anymore. Instead, they're about managing and understanding information. This means it's harder to get into the job market because you need more education and special skills. At the same time, people with full-time jobs are working more hours. This is the opposite of what we thought would happen, that technology would mean less work. This also comes with less pay for extra hours in some cases, which affects how much money workers have to spend. Economic inequality has also gotten worse. The gap between rich and poor countries has grown a lot, showing that the good things from economic growth aren't shared fairly. Also, joblessness, both official and unofficial, stays high in many places. This shows that old ways of handling the economy aren't creating enough jobs. How we organize our time and where we work has also changed. The need for constant services has made work hours longer, almost like businesses are always open. At the same time, where we work has become more varied. Big companies are alongside small businesses, and both are encouraging work outside of traditional offices, thanks to technology. Also, who makes up the workforce has gotten bigger. Groups that used to not be very involved, like women, older adults, minorities, and people with disabilities, are now trying to get into the job market. This makes the job world more varied and complex. Beyond these big changes in how things are set up, there's an even bigger shift happening. It's about what work means to us. For a long time, having a job was mostly about making sure you had enough money and helping your family and community. But today, things are different, and a lot of people are starting to question that idea. They're looking for more meaning and purpose in what they do for work. This change is also connected to how the idea of work has changed over time. Working full-time became a thing because of the Industrial Revolution, and it was the main way people worked for over 200 years. But now, because of the problems it causes for people, money, and companies, we're looking for new, more flexible ways to work. From a community point of view, the old way of working led to things like cities getting too crowded, traffic problems, expensive buildings, and a lot of harm to the environment. To fix this, people have come up with ways to spread out where people work and create more eco-friendly ways of doing things. From a business point of view, hiring full-time employees comes with risks and costs. This has made companies look for more flexible ways to work. From the worker's point of view, the strictness of traditional jobs has made it hard to balance work and personal life. This has led them to look for more flexible options. Together, these things explain why we're moving towards a work world that's more varied, always changing, and less certain. Even though this change brings challenges, it also creates chances to rethink how work, personal life, and career growth fit together. The modern work world isn't just changing how it's set up, but also what skills are considered super important to be a part of it. One of the biggest things here is how language plays a role in a world that's all connected. The way markets are becoming more and more connected has made English the main language in international business. This makes it a key skill for getting jobs. But this trend also brings cultural challenges, because having only one main language can cause problems in places where language is a big part of who people are. So, it becomes important to balance knowing a global language with keeping local languages alive, by encouraging people to be bilingual or multilingual. Another big change is how people prefer to work. More part-time jobs aren't just because companies want them, but also because people choose them. Different groups, like women, older adults, and young people, find these jobs more flexible. They can better balance their personal duties, career interests, and overall life quality. This way of working has led to what's called a portfolio life, where people mix different work activities instead of having just one full-time job. The growth of these work styles is closely tied to new technology. Having good internet and phone systems means people can work from many different places. This makes us less dependent on traditional office buildings. This has also led to new communities where work and life are mixed. People can live closer to where they work, which means less travel time and lower costs. But this change isn't just about technology, it's also about money and society. City planners and builders want to use resources wisely, save money, and make life better. By mixing new technology with old ways, we can create places that are more efficient and last longer. At the same time, people in full-time jobs are working even harder. Even with all the new technology, work hours have gone up for many. This is because companies need to compete in a global market that never stops. Companies want to get the most work done, which means more demands on their employees. This creates a struggle between how much people get paid and how much effort they put in. This can make some workers look for more balanced job options. The way global markets work also adds a time factor. Working across different time zones means that customer needs and interactions aren't limited to normal business hours. Being able to respond right away becomes a competitive edge. This puts more pressure on workers to be available all the time. In this world, the choices we make about work are shaped by many things: technology, money, society, and our own personal lives. Deciding between a full-time job or several part-time gigs isn't just about needing money anymore. It's also about wanting flexibility, being your own boss, and finding a good balance in life. All these things together show a big change in how we work. The world becoming more connected, new technology, and what people expect are all changing what work is like. This is creating new ways to work that need us to be flexible and learn new skills. Being able to understand and handle these changes is super important to do well in today's job market. In today's workplaces, organizations are trying to keep up with big changes in how we work and what employees expect. To handle this, many companies and groups have started using plans that help them deal with these new situations. They're trying to balance getting work done with making sure everyone is happy and healthy at work. One of the most important plans is creating flexible work environments, also called life-friendly spaces. These ideas aim to adjust work conditions to fit employees' personal needs. For example, they might allow flexible hours, working from home, or schedules that make it easier to take care of family duties. Some companies have set up systems where you can save up work hours to use later for specific times, like school holidays or personal situations. These practices often go hand in hand with more generous leave policies and outside support services, like counseling or fitness programs. The idea is that happier, more balanced employees do better work. At the same time, companies have started to build stronger connections with the communities they're in. This approach, called corporate social responsibility or corporate citizenship, means businesses understand they are part of a bigger social system. Through things like company volunteering or supporting community projects, organizations not only help society, but they also get better at adapting by working with different environments than just business ones. These experiences help people learn new skills, see things from new angles, and create a more open and lively company culture. Another key strategy is growing talent by giving people chances to grow personally and professionally. Learning all the time has become super important for a company to keep going strong. Companies that put money into helping their employees grow get good results in how well people do and how much they care about their work. This doesn't always mean spending a lot of money. Often, just setting aside some money for training and adding growth goals to performance reviews is enough to make a big difference. In this world, learning with technology has become super important. Using online tools lets us share information in a way that's easy, flexible, and can reach a lot of people. But even though these tools make it easier to get information, they're not always great at helping with harder skills like thinking critically or solving problems. That's why the best plans mix online learning with in-person meetings. This creates a complete approach that really helps people learn new skills. One more strategy is to let employees be part of owning the company or making decisions. Giving them shares or bonuses based on results helps everyone's goals match up. Studies show that when employees feel like they have a direct hand in the company's success, they care more and do better work. But these ways of doing things need to be managed well, because they don't automatically guarantee good results. Together, these strategies show a move towards more open, flexible, and learning-focused ways of organizing. But putting them into action isn't something you can choose to do or not. Companies that don't change with the new work environment risk losing their edge and eventually disappearing. Adapting means not just trying new things, but also changing how we think about work and the connection between a company and its people. The way work has changed can be seen as a series of economic shifts. First, we had farming becoming a business, then factories making things, and now we have more services and jobs that focus on knowledge and people. This process tells us that there's still a lot of room for new ways of working, as long as people and companies are ready to change. The way the world of work is changing doesn't just mean big shifts in how companies are set up. It also has deep effects on our society, our culture, and our personal lives. One of the biggest things happening is that the lines between work life and home life are getting blurry, especially with more people working from home. While this way of working offers flexibility, it can also cause stress. Our homes aren't always set up for work, and family life can sometimes get in the way of work duties. Because of this, we need to rethink not just how we organize work, but also our old ideas about family, which have changed to include many different kinds of families. At the same time, we're seeing a change in the role of traditional groups in the workplace like unions. For many years, the relationship between workers and bosses was often about fighting, but today, that way of thinking isn't enough. Unions are still important, but they need to change how they approach things. Instead of just opposing things, they need to focus on supporting and strengthening workers in a changing world. This shift is key for them to stay relevant in the new job market. Another big challenge is that both people and companies often don't like change. This isn't just because they don't have enough information, it's also because they're afraid of losing out financially or socially. The idea of being left out of the job market or ending up in unstable jobs makes people feel unsure, especially those who grew up when jobs were more steady. To get past this resistance, we need to understand that even though the ways we work have changed, there are still opportunities. But these opportunities require new ways of organizing and adapting. So, the responsibility here isn't just on individuals or businesses, but also on governments. Public policies are super important for creating a fair path to this new way of working. This means setting up social safety nets, having good minimum wages, and making places where different kinds of jobs can fit together in a working economy. Also, in many places, especially in countries that are still developing, people do many different jobs to make ends meet. This means we need to find a way to bring together different types of work, like tech, farming, and factory jobs, into a system that makes sense and can last. To do this, we need to look at the whole picture, connecting government rules, company plans, and what individuals need. Getting access to technology is a huge part of this. In today's world, being able to use tech tools isn't just a nice to have, it's a must-have to be part of the economy. Not having access can leave people out and limit their chances to grow. But, as technology becomes more available and cheaper, it opens up ways for more people to get it. Still, there are challenges with teaching people how to use it and helping them build those skills. All these pieces together show that the way the world of work changes needs a big picture view. It's not just about money, but also about people, culture, and politics. Being able to balance all these things will be super important to create work models that are both strong and can last a long time. Conclusion. The analysis shows that the world of work is going through a big change. This change is reshaping how companies are set up and how people experience their jobs. Moving towards more flexible ways of working, the growth of jobs based on knowledge and using new technologies have changed how we used to think about employment. This also brings new problems with job security, fairness, and well-being. It's clear that people, their skills, and their ability to keep learning are the most important things for companies to do well. But these things also need to be supported by company plans that encourage flexibility, career growth, employee involvement, and connections with communities. At the same time, people not wanting to change and unfair systems show that we need government policies to help make this change smoother and more balanced. Also, the world is asking more and more from us, but it's also important to keep our different cultures and local needs in mind. The main idea isn't to just copy what everyone else is doing, but to find a good balance between doing well globally and meeting the needs of our local communities. All in all, companies and societies that can bring these things together, like adapting, learning, using technology, caring for well-being, and understanding local situations, will be better prepared to handle uncertainty and take advantage of chances in a work world that's always changing.
San Diego Global Knowledge University, Education Beyond Boundaries.